Have you ever wondered about those hidden digital rules, the ones governing how websites talk to the rest of the internet, especially search engines, and, well, now this new wave of AI?
Yeah, it's a fascinating area.
Today we're doing a deep dive into something called Robots.txt, and specifically a really interesting kind of subtle move by a huge e-commerce player.
That's right. We're talking Shopify. Our mission today is basically to unpack these, technical guidelines, show you how much they actually shape things from your search results all the way to these cutting-edge AI shopping tools.
Exactly. We'll break down what Robots.txt is, how it works for platforms like Shopify, and then really zero in on this quiet change they made, a change that has some pretty major implications for AI in online retail.
And we've got some solid sources to guide us. There's official Shopify docs, customized robots.txt.
Right, and great analyses from Modern Retail and Digiday, their articles on Shopify setting AI boundaries.
Plus, a useful guide from Bloggle on Shopify, robots.txt, and a strategic look from Power Commerce about Shopify's stance on this agentic AI stuff.
Okay, so let's jump in the basics first. What is this robots.txt file exactly?
So think of it like your website's digital doorman, or maybe a bouncer. Shopify's own docs, it's basically a simple text file. It's a standard websites used to talk to web crawlers, the automated bots from Google, Bing, places like that.
Okay.
It's essentially giving them instructions, telling these crawlers which pages they can crawl and index, and maybe more importantly, which ones they shouldn't.
Right, like telling Google, don't look in this closet.
So beyond just stopping bots from overwhelming a site, what's the main point? Why is it useful?
Well, a big part is guiding those search engines, making sure they see your important stuff. The Bloggle guide mentions common uses like, directing crawlers, preventing overload, and also trying to keep certain areas private by asking crawlers not to index them. It's all part of this bigger thing called the Robots Exclusion Protocol.
Got it. Protocol. And what's actually in the file? What are the bits and pieces? Shopify's documentation breaks it down nicely. 3 main parts, usually. First, the user agent. That says which bot the rule is for, like Googlebot or Bingbot.
Okay, specifies the target.
Then you have the rules themselves. These are the actual commands, like allow or disallow, followed by a specific URL path.
Right, like disallow admin.
Exactly. And third, there's often an optional sitemap URL included, which just points crawlers to the map of your site, helps them find everything.
So user agent, rules,
Yeah.
maybe a sitemap link. The Bloggle guide mentions some of those directives. Disallow is the main keep out sign, like private.
Yeah, but then allow can create exceptions. You could disallow private, but then allow private public-file.html to let them see just that one file.
Okay, overrides.
Right. And sitemap points to your XML file. Crawl delay tries to slow bots down, though not everyone listens to that one. And comments, starting with a hashtag, are just notes for humans looking at the file.
Okay, that seems straightforward enough. But you mentioned bots not always listening.
Yeah, this is really important, and the Bloggle guide stresses it too. These robots.txt directives, they're requests, not enforceable rules. Think polite suggestions.
So a bad bot could just ignore it completely.
Absolutely. Malicious bots, scrapers, they often just barge right past the robots.txt, which also means, and this is critical, you should never use robots.txt to try and hide truly sensitive information.
Because the file itself is public. Anyone can see what you're trying to hide.
Precisely. Anyone can just type your website.com/.txt and see the instructions. So it's guidance, not a security lock.
Okay, that's a crucial distinction. Guidance, not guarantee. So let's talk Shopify specifically. They create a default file for stores, right?
They do. Shopify automatically generates a default robots.txt. And it's pretty well optimized generally.
How so?
It's set up to block search engines from indexing things like the shopping cart pages, order pages, the admin area, stuff that doesn't need to be in search results.
Right, makes sense.
But it allows indexing for the important stuff. Your product pages, collections, blog posts, that's covered in both their official docs and the Bloggle guide.
Interesting, though, that wasn't always the case, was it? I remember reading it used to be quite restrictive.
That's right. Before June 2021, you couldn't touch it. Shopify controlled it completely. The Bloggle guide mentions this actually led to some harsh criticism.
I can imagine.
Yeah, merchants had issues. Sometimes they tried using third-party apps to get around it, apparently with unfortunate results like accidentally blocking their whole site.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's bad. But they changed that.
Thankfully, yes. Since June 2021, they updated things. Now you can customize it. You add a special template file called Robots.txt.liquid that's detailed in the customized Robots.txt docs.
Robots.txt.liquid. Okay, so how does that work?
You basically go into your theme's code editor, create this new template, and then you use Shopify's special liquid objects to add or modify rules. It gives you quite a bit of flexibility.
What kind of customizations are we talking about?
Well, you can add new rules, maybe block pages with a certain query parameter, like if you have filter results you don't want indexed. Or if you use Shopify Markets, you can set different rules for different country domains. You can also remove some of the default rules Shopify puts in. Maybe you want your policies pages indexed for some reason. Or you can add totally custom rules, like blocking a specific bot you don't like, or adding extra sitemap URLs. Shopify's docs list all these possibilities.
But they recommend sticking with their system, right? Not just pasting plain text.
Yeah, they strongly recommend using the liquid objects. Their reasoning, according to the docs, is that Shopify keeps the default rules updated based on current SEO best practices. If you just overwrite everything with plain text, you miss out on those updates.
Right, could hurt your SEO down the line. And the Bloggle Guide warned about mistakes, too.
Definitely. Common errors like using disallow with nothing after it that blocks everything, or, again, trying to hide sensitive pages this way. Overusing wildcards can also cause problems, or just forgetting to include your sitemap link.
And testing is key, presumably.
Crucial. Bloggle mentions using tools like Google's Robots testing tool before you push changes live. You don't want to accidentally tell Google to ignore your entire store.
No, definitely not. Because done right, this customization can actually help SEO.
Absolutely. The Bloggle Guide points out that guiding search engines effectively means they find your most important content faster, which should lead to, more traffic and conversions.
Okay, so that brings us nicely to the really current stuff.
Yeah.
This recent development that modern retail and Digiday picked up on. Shopify quietly setting boundaries for AI agents.
Exactly. This is where Robots.txt suddenly gets involved in the cutting edge of AI.
So what did they do? What's the actual change?
They added a new line of text, technically a comment, into the default Robots.txt file for their merchants.
Okay, and it says?
It says, and this is a direct quote reported by Modern Retail, Digiday, and Power Commerce, automated scraping, buy for me agents, or any end-to-end flow that completes payment without a final review step is not permitted.
Whoa, okay. Buy for me agents. That sounds like AI doing the actual shopping.
That's precisely what it is. Modern Retail and Digiday define this agentic AI as bots that can basically complete tasks autonomously without needing step-by-step human input.
So AI that could browse, choose, and buy something for you.
Potentially, yes. Power Commerce describes them as systems that can make decisions, recommend products, and maybe even execute the purchase.
And this Shopify comment appeared on sites like Alo Yoga, Allbirds. Big names.
Yeah, it seems to be a standard addition across their platform now.
But isn't this happening just as competitors like Amazon and Walmart are embracing this kind of AI?
That's the fascinating context here. Amazon's testing a Buy For Me feature. Walmart's got Sparky, their generative AI assistant, which could become a shopping agent. Modern Retail, Digiday, and Power Commerce all highlight this contrast.
So Shopify seems to be pumping the brakes, or at least trying to steer things.
It certainly looks like they want tighter control. Yuzas Kaziukanis, an e-commerce analyst quoted in Modern Retail, put it pretty bluntly. He thinks Shopify is basically saying, hey, we see you building these automated checkout tools on top of our merchants. We don't want you doing that, at least not without permission.
Because Shopify hosts so many direct-to-consumer brands, they're a target for experimental AI startups.
Exactly. Kaziukanis points out Shopify is the biggest pool of DTC brands, so it's a natural place for people to try out this kind of automation.
But Shopify offered a clarification, didn't they? Ilya Grigorik, one of their top engineers.
Yes, he posted on X saying, the new line doesn't add or remove any rules for bots or agents. He framed it more as a comment for curious humans.
A comment that points them somewhere specific.
Right. It points towards Shopify.com/checkout kit, their official way for developers to integrate with Shopify's checkout process securely. All three sources, Modern Retail, Digiday, Power Commerce, mentioned this clarification.
Ah, so it's less AI forbidden. And more, if you want to do this, use our official tools.
That seems to be the strategic nuance here. Power Commerce suggests it's not an outright rejection of agentic AI, but a move to channel legitimate partners towards their controlled checkout kit.
Drawing a line between approved integration and, well, rogue automation.
Exactly, setting boundaries early on. And while, as Kaziukanis notes, A merchant could technically edit their Robots.txt to remove this comment.
The default message is clear: discouraging unauthorized scraping and automated purchasing.
Precisely.
This feels like part of a much bigger conversation happening online right now.
I think so too. Because you can have said it well in modern retail, the internet as a whole is trying to figure out what the rules of engagement are for AI. Shopify's just doing its part in its own ecosystem. It echoes what companies like Cloudflare are doing with trying to block unwanted AI bots.
And what about the customer side? Trust and security must be huge here.
Absolutely huge. Power Commerce points out that Shopify emphasizing that final review step, needing a human okay before payment, is crucial for maintaining trust. Unchecked AI handling money. That's a recipe for security nightmares and lost confidence.
So potentially, this could be a selling point for Shopify against competitors, appealing to merchants who value that control and security.
It could be. Power Commerce suggests this stance might differentiate them from the Amazons and Walmarts, attracting merchants who prioritize that safety net over full throttle automation, at least for now.
Makes sense. And looking further out, could this influence how AI gets regulated in retail?
It might. Power Commerce speculates that Shopify's proactive approach could serve as a model. It encourages a wider discussion about the ethics and practicalities of AI in commerce.
And potentially more collaboration between the platforms and the AI developers.
Hopefully. To ensure innovation happens responsibly and aligns with industry standards and, consumer protection.
So what's the immediate future look like? Is fully automated AI shopping just around the corner?
Probably not just around the corner. Modern retail and Digiday suggest truly agentic AI is likely still years away from mainstream reality. But the groundwork is definitely being laid now.
And in the meantime,
we'll likely see, as Power Commerce predicts, much stronger security protocols develop, more effort put into educating consumers about what these AI tools can and can't do, and almost certainly more regulatory discussions shaping how AI operates online.
Wow. Okay, so we started with a seemingly simple text file, Robots.txt, this sort of digital gatekeeper.
Here are those basic directives.
And we've ended up right at the forefront of AI strategy in e-commerce. It really shows how these technical details underpin huge strategic decisions. You should have a much clearer picture now of how these files work and why setting boundaries for AI is becoming so critical.
It really connects the code to the commerce, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it leaves us with a big question to ponder, doesn't it? As this technology races ahead, pushing automation further and further, how does the digital world strike that balance? The balance between the drive for efficiency and automation and, well, the fundamental need for human oversight, security, and trust.